Oh yeah.
Yo, what up, 33? Tell me something good.
Everybody.
You know, they tell me life don't come with no menu, so we're gonna take it a day at a time.
Man, about time you got here, man. Light your cigar, do whatever you gotta do. Get comfortable so we.
Well. We back again. You're now tuned into the Good Days, Great Nights podcast. I tell you a lot of time, this is going to be a good one. Anytime I get to break bread with my people, I'm always grateful. But this one kind of like another one of them long time coming things. It just had to align the right way. The stars had to kind of come out and, you know, when you're famous and doing great things in the world, you could be a busy man, you know. Just seen my dog shooting a commercial. You know, brothers out here playing soccer, you know what I'm saying? Doing stuff like that. So it's always good to see that. But just to tell y'all right now, if you know me in the cigar world, they call me 33. Alicia in there since daddy or father, depending on what demographic, how you get down. Your auntie's favorite podcast host. She made the potato salad yesterday. You know, she definitely made it. And your uncle's favorite nephew. He calling me now. He tell me every day he proud of me, so that's dope. Second coming to Gerald Levert and Mr. Will Spill Your Mom first time I have to a hole on the two-step. That's my handle. So a lot of times we base it, like people base things off of how they know you and how they heard about you. They base it off of what they heard. They might have heard that he was from out south, or his grandma had a restaurant, or his mom was this, his dad was this. In school he was this. The younger version of him was this. So now we do it a little bit different here. We do it in the sense of a road trip. So anybody and everybody can go anywhere, but we do it in the sense of a road trip. A lot of people nowadays, they ain't keen on them, but when we was coming up, that was how we got down the road. We take them trips. Anywhere we can go was always about a road trip. So if we can leave right now, you could pick a place. Where would you want to
go? Right now, I'm headed to L.A.
L.A.?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm headed to L.A.
Everybody
LA
like
is,
the West.
LA
okay.
is, that's my spot to see. A lot of times people look at L.A. and it's like, oh, it's super pretentious. It's, you know, it's this, it's that.
Right.
But L.A. is actually my peaceful spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's this little place, this little Airbnb I like to go to when I just need a disconnect.
Right.
Little spot where you don't have service. You know, I like to spend a week there and just disconnect. So if I had a chance to go somewhere right now, I'm headed to L.A.
Okay, so, you know, my rule of thumb is I don't really drive west. So luckily we got some people in the Splinter with us, right? But we're going to give it to you. We'll give it to you early. We'll let you start it out. So you're going to go and get us to at least Denver, at least Colorado, you know, at least the early leg of it, right?
All right.
You jump in the car, everybody done said their prayers. It's time to do their thing, right? You get the aux cord. You can play 5 songs. 5 songs that would describe you as a person right now. They subject to change by the end, of course, but you would want those 5 songs that anytime you hear these 5 songs, where they make you think about Saturday morning cleanup at the house as a kid, when you got your first car, just different moments, but these your songs.
Yeah.
These your guarantees. I go to these all the time. What would that be?
I'm definitely gonna run out the gate with Yolanda Adams.
Okay, I see where we're going.
It's not Say Yes. What's the name of it, Al? It's the Yolanda Adams track.
The fan favorite, Along in the Room. It's just,
what is it? It's
what is that, Corey?
That one.
That one. The common joint. The common.
Yep, so I'm gonna go with that Yolanda
Okay.
Adams joint. It's just one of them that, you know, when that stuff is like getting tight, you know, you feeling that pressure.
Okay.
It's like a release for me. So I'm gonna start the trip like that just to set the spirits right.
Yeah.
I am gonna bring some Luther in the mix.
Luther coming. Big Luther or Little Luther, or in between? Like, are we doing like where we at? What is this? What's the song? I'll tell you.
What is it? I don't know. I ain't good with the names. If This World Were Mine.
Okay, so you off the wood with it. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm with that one on it. And that's because my mama was she still is super cleaner. But it happened every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
You know, screen door open, windows open kind of vibe. Every Saturday morning. I got this affinity for Saturday mornings because of that. You didn't ask me for an explanation. On
No,
this
you
one,
did
though.
good. You did good.
But,
You did good.
But yeah, I'm gonna play that Luther joint. Third, dedication.
Gotta have it.
Dedication.
Tell me why.
Nip, the stuff he talked about. Now I can't act like I relate to all of it 100%, but some of it, if you really listening, you know, he's talking about structuring deals and talking about changing his community and talking about, you know, flipping the narrative, doing the unexpected.
Yeah.
Right. Moving in a way that he didn't see people move, creating a new path. So definitely gonna go with Nipsey on the third. Where I'm gonna go number 4. I'm going to go with "Drive Slow" by Mac Ayres.
Okay.
You know that?
I know Mac
You
Ayres.
know
That's
Mac
dope.
Ayres?
That's dope.
So
That's
my
dope.
homegirl Shannon, one of
Yeah.
my best friends on the planet, she put
I know
me,
Shane. Shout out Shane.
yeah, she put me and my wife on Mac Ayres.
Uh-huh.
We actually missed the concert yesterday. He was in town
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
We had tickets and just couldn't do it. But drive slow, you know, because we getting close to Denver at this point. You
Right,
know?
right.
It's a different vibe as you coming in.
Come on. Yeah,
into Denver. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
drive slow into Denver. I'm guessing we in Denver now. I still want to keep the vibe easy. That's just how I roll.
We got one
One more?
One more.
This one gonna throw you out because I don't know the names of the songs, but I'm gonna give you an artist.
Okay.
Kenny G.
Okay, you want some jazz. Okay. Oh, you grown. Okay.
Kenny G. Again, that's a shout out to my mama. He also was just here recently, and I had to give my mama the tickets to that. And Kenny G, you know, he just, for me, you stressed, you got whatever going on, you put some Kenny G on, and it's just gonna be smooth. I got more, but that's my 5.
That's your 5? I'll give you one bonus. If you
Give me
got
one more?
One more in your head. Make it an even 6.
One more. I'm gonna rock with, and I don't know the names, but I'm gonna give it some PJ Morton.
PJ Morton, funky. That's funk.
PJ Morton, he just got a vibe, his soul to him. That's, you know.
Okay. All right, I like what I got here. Okay, so we got Yolanda Adams, Open My Heart. Open My Heart.
That's the one.
Luther, If This World Was Mine. Nip, Dedication. Mac Ayres, Drive Slow. Kenny G, just because you like the soothing sounds.
Yeah.
And then PJ, because it's a vibe.
Yeah.
So me looking at this, and I'm looking at your list, I would say he's a person that is for the moment, for the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But he don't want no stress. I want everything to flow smoothly, but my character is I'm a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
With Luther, I understand that sometimes you got to slow it down, pay homage to the past,
100%.
and then God opening my heart is the key to it all.
Let me get one more.
Okay, okay, you want one more? One more. Lucky number 7.
I think you pronounce her name Guapole.
Come on, I know where you're going.
You know what song
I know where
it
you're
is.
going.
Closer.
That's it.
Closer.
And that's self-explanatory.
It's self-explanatory.
In all
Closer.
aspects.
In all aspects. Every second, I feel it, you know. Like the dreamer part. You saying you're a dreamer, that's what made me think of, because I listened to it and I'm like, yeah, I am getting closer to what I saw back then.
Facts. So do me a favor, introduce yourself.
My name is Chris Goode.
Come on, you gotta pop your stuff now. This your moment.
I'm a believer.
Okay.
I never speak without giving Jesus his praise.
Facts.
It's no me without him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dad. I'm a husband.
Yeah.
I own Ruby Jeans Juicery. Responsible for the first ever healthy business on the east side of Kansas City in the history of this city. I've been able to break down some barriers politically here in Kansas City by just being an individual, being myself. But I believe in exposing people to the goodness of health. I believe in exposing us to the goodness of health in a way that's genuine. Ruby Jean was my late grandmother, died of 61 from type 2 diabetes. Never had an awareness around a healthy lifestyle whatsoever.
Okay.
And so when I gained that knowledge on a limited level, you know, not from like this place of perfection or like being a dietitian or nothing like that, but just when I got the good news of like, man, healthy food and healthy drinks
Right.
can really alter your outcome, I wanted to honor her with it. You
Dope.
know,
That's
honor
dope.
what she wasn't with it, but also honor all of the people, you know, all of the other Ruby Jeans that still exist.
Okay.
So that's me in a nutshell, bro. I'm a disruptor. I don't take no for an answer.
Okay.
I'm very quiet. I don't. I talk a lot, but I don't talk a lot at the same time. If it's not in a medium like this, I'm normally quiet. I'm
Quiet man in the
normally-
back.
Yep, I'm normally in my head. You know, meditating, thinking, contemplating,
Mm-hmm.
praying. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, so what outside of grandma and outside of your family, what motivates you? What makes you wake up every day?
Outside of family,
Yeah.
you know, man, it's wanting to see something different.
Okay, explain a little bit.
Wanting to see black people, marginalized people see themselves in the brightest light, through a healthier existence, and not just through food and through drinks, but
Yeah.
through just, I mean, healthier communities, healthier streets, less trash, you
Right.
know, more access to active lifestyles. And it motivates me because I've never really seen anybody do it in a way that's, and I can't say never, but I've never seen anybody do it in a way that's really connected to passion, you know, like really, really like, yo, I'm doing this and I'm not doing it to be celebrated. I'm not
Right.
doing it to be cool. I'm not doing it for you to care or like me or
Yeah.
follow me or none of that. I'm doing it because I know it's my charge to do.
Okay.
So that motivates me, bro. These kids, man, I talk to
kids.
so many kids, you know, including my own son, but I get the opportunity to speak to so many kids day in and day out, different schools, teaching smoothie classes, this or that.
Right.
And, you know, they're like writing reports about me and writing reports about Ruby Jeans and what it means to them and what the image of it is and what it stands for. And I've been able to give them a different optic of something that they wouldn't normally see. Especially at 30th and Truce, because I went to daycare right across the street. I did. And so these kids, you know, that's just like me running into that school day in and day out, even if they haven't been in the business, most of them know that, oh, that's a healthy place.
Yeah.
When I was going in there, it was a day-old bread store.
Yeah.
You know-
That was Wonders.
What'd you say?
Was the bread house? That was the bread house.
Yeah.
That was the bread house.
Yeah, so I got the privilege, man, to buy the bread house.
Yeah.
You know, and even that opportunity motivates me, man. Like,
Right.
you know, I was 3 when I started going to St. Vincent's back then. It's now Operation Breakthrough.
Yeah.
3 years old. And God looked way out into the future and said, this bread store that you walking into with your grandma,
Yeah.
you going to own it.
You're gonna come back to it.
But you're not going to be selling bread.
Yeah.
And, man, when I think about it, it's like sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that the opportunity, bro, just the opportunity to be able to say that, man, that's inspiring to me because I can't fail.
Yeah.
I don't get the option. God looked way into the future and lined that up for
Yeah.
me to do as my task. It's motivating.
So I think when I look at it and I hear you talk about it, to me it's dope because as a kid you just ripping and running, your imagination going wild. You got plans for yourself. Your plans is to do this or go do this, or you know, most typical kids when they come up, it's either sports or the service or you know, doctors, lawyers, whatever they were dreaming.
Yeah.
But the fact of it is, I think that if you knew, would you mess it up on purpose, like because you didn't know what it was going to be? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I go into and I think about like where people are, it's really like a door, and it was like once you touch this door and hit this knob, everything will open up for you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But until then, I'm gonna let you do what you want to do. But then once it hit, it'll hit. So with having the business, also you didn't had a few locations.
Yeah.
You didn't been tried and true, and that's dope itself. And I think when I was living out in OP, and it was cool coming around right there by Barnes and Nobles, get what you need, gone upstairs and sit down with that book.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, man, to see your name, to see your grandmother's name constantly over and over again? Like, how does that make you, like, what's that feeling? That's kind of like a rapper when they hear their song on the radio. Like, what is that like for you?
Man, it's humbling, bro.
Yeah?
It's humbling because, you know, the crazy part is it's this big juxtaposition. You know, people will be like, oh, you do what? And, oh, did your grandmother,
Yeah.
did she give you all these recipes? And I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, actually, she didn't know nothing about any
Right,
of this.
right.
And so it's humbling, and a lot of times I wonder, like, man, what is she thinking?
Yeah.
You know, like, what would she say to this? She was super quiet, super shy. You know, now her face is all over the place.
Right.
You know, one of the moments, like, where it really kind of, like, hit me. I'm like, man, this is different. I think it's about a month and a half ago now.
Okay.
So we got featured on National Geographic.
Yeah.
Black Travel Across America. And it first hit on Nat Geo, right?
Right.
And then they released it on Hulu Plus. And then it had another release date on Disney. And the day that it went on Disney, I woke up early in the morning. I'm like, oh, it's on Disney today. Let me just check it out.
Right.
My son, we always watching Disney. I got to see it on here. I want to show him. And so I get up early in the morning. I get up super early. Most of the time about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I get up super early before anybody moving. And I kind of look at my phone. And I go to the Disney app. I'm like, wait a minute. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
So I open the Disney app. And her face is right there on the front page.
Okay.
On the front page of Disney. And the young, beautiful travel host, Martinique, phenomenal woman. She's front and center, says Black Travel Across America. And they picked a still out of all these thousands of stills from this docu-show. And the still that they picked is her standing in front of Ruby Jeans on Truce. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Yeah.
My grandma, she maybe traveled to 5 states total. Her whole life, her whole existence, and now her face is being seen in Africa and Australia and Canada, all over the world. The landing page of Disney Plus, and the feeling, it was just like, you know, like it's a lot of hard days in the midst of all of this and building, and you know, slow days and this and that and misconceptions and so on and so forth. And it's moments like that where it's not like, woohoo, I made it, I did it. But it's moments like that where I'm like, I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be. So, hold on, let him breathe with the coffee thing. I want to let y'all know we're at Classic Blend Cigars and Coffee down on Burlington Street, North Kansas City. Always a good time. Make sure you come in, holler at my guy Will. Man, he always take care of you throughout the week. Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday. Every day they open. They also have a small coffee place around the corner as well. But you can always come in here and listen to some good music, some jazz, some kind of singer, entertainer. So we always want to shout him out. He always take good care of me when we come through. The younger you, what was that childhood like? Like, what was it without grandma? Like you, what was your childhood like as a kid? What was that like?
So I am the youngest of 4.
Okay.
We all split apart by 3 years. I got 2 older sisters and an older brother. And I don't know, you got siblings?
I got a few.
Where are you at in the lineage?
Some would say I'm the oldest, but I'll say that I'm the middle.
Okay. So you got the youngest. And the youngest, at least for me, I was almost a mute.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was just paying attention. Like I was looking at what everybody was doing. I was low key a snitch. Like, oh mama, look, I found this letter. I found this letter in my sister Cherie's shoebox. And I think you should see it. I'm trying to protect her. Here, mama, you ain't get it from me, but here go this letter from some boy.
So you was telling.
I was telling. But I was quiet, man. I was quiet. I was absorbing a lot. You know, I'm the one that's kind of getting pushed around and so on and so forth. But I always was just paying attention. I asked a lot of questions. My auntie will tell you to this day, we used to drive down. My family, my mama's side is from Vian and Muskogee, Oklahoma.
I know. I'm familiar.
Yep. So we talked about it.
Yeah.
And so we drive down to Muskogee every summer, and I'm asking my auntie a million questions. So if I wasn't just being quiet around all my siblings or, telling on one of them, I'm just listening, asking questions.
You want to know why?
I want to know why. Everything. I needed to know why. I had this kind of like a question inside of my spirit for a long time. Where like, man, what is all this stuff? Like, what are we doing? Like, why am I here? Like, what? And I would ask myself these questions, and I felt this thing like, man, it's something I got to do. And I didn't know how to describe that feeling as a kid, but in hindsight, I remember having this yearning desire to understand, to like figure out like what is going on here. So as a kid, I would say I was very curious and quiet, well-mannered for the most part. I got into a little stuff here and there, but good kid, quiet, just listening a lot. That's about it.
What high school?
I went to Ruskin.
I went to Ruskin.
So we started in the city. We lived at 42nd and Wabash, East 46th Street. And then, the thing in hindsight is crazy because we ended up moving out south for a better opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For better schools and so on and so forth. And it was a hoax.
When you got out there, it was different.
I mean, it was a hoax. Like in hindsight, it was like it's that push us to the suburbs and this devaluing of the land, so on and so forth. In hindsight, I recognize that. But early part of my life, I'm in the city, and then we move out south. I start to make a amazing group of friends that I'm still super close with today. The Shannons, the Ryans.
Yeah.
We got a super close friend group. I graduated from Ruskin. My pops really wanted me to go to. So my pops came in the picture really heavily about 10 or 11.
Okay.
When he first came into the picture, it was more as a disciplinarian, and then he used football as a way to create a relationship with me. And so sports became our way to communicate, and I honestly, I wasn't a fan early on and then fell in love with it.
Okay. All right. So when you going about it and you're looking at that and you think about like everything that you've done so far, of course I would say you're giving the service, but what is your idea when people look at you? What's the perception that you hope, or what do you think that you're giving them? Just with the business, with you, is where you came and where you're at now.
Genuineness. Like I didn't start selling juice or open a juice bar to be a rich person. I didn't start it to be a popular person. I didn't start it to be any of the above. I started it because I didn't see anybody selling something or positioning something that was actually good for us. Like nothing. And I knew I had that task to take because watching my grandma take her last breath, and then in hindsight as an adult realizing that it was, it was soul food. It just, man, it messes me up to this day.
Right.
It's like, man, you mean to tell me my grandma didn't get to meet my little dude?
Yeah.
Because of fried chicken?
Right.
And I started to kind of throw that around my mind, like, man, there's juice and the food we sell, it's not like it ain't nasty.
Yeah.
It's good, it's fire. But it just wasn't in her purview. It wasn't in her world. It wasn't something she knew about. And so genuineness is what I would hope that people will look at me and say, like, oh, okay, yeah, that cat actually means this. He's not doing this for any other reason than to create better accessibility. And even if not accessibility, more awareness.
Right. Before you were on Truth, where were you at?
So our very first location was at 40th and Broadway.
Okay.
Very first location, 750 square foot space, top of this little boutique gym. Put everything I had into it, everything and more. Took a couple of small loans. My dear friend Tierra believed in it early. Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna loan you this money. I had a 401k. I took out the 401k, took the early penalty on it, charged up my credit cards. I put everything in, every single thing in.
Were you still working at the same time?
So I quit my job.
Okay.
Money started running out. I went and got another job.
Were you with old lady at the time?
No,
Or you was on your own?
no, I was on my own. When I first started, I was just
I'm saying,
Chris.
no old lady gonna let you quit no job now.
No, I mean, I quit a really good job to do this. And everybody, people around me, they was like, kind of looked at me crazy, told me, a couple people told me it was going to fail. A couple people laughed at me. My mama, super, super devout Christian woman. She was like, I believe in you, but let's pray about this. Because she watching me quit a 6-figure plus year job.
Yeah.
And that money is like, man, you made it kind of money and so I went for it anyway, man. And
so when you say that job, like, okay, so where I'm at now, I'm rolling my job and I'm moving around doing my thing.
yeah,
Some days I wake up and I be like, man, I don't want to go see these people, right?
yeah.
Was it ever those moments like when you was going through that where you like, I know I'm supposed to be doing something different and I just got to jump out on it? Or like, was it one of them things where you like, because it gets to a point where it gets irritating. Mm-hmm. So were you already having those moments, or you was luckily kind of going past those moments?
So even before I got to the point of
quitting
to start, even before I got to the point of quitting to start Ruby Jeans, I had this tug on me. I went to Missouri State. I played football.
Okay.
I left Missouri State. I came home to Kansas City, and I instantly started putting my hands in the mud, like instantly. Volunteered for Janice Ellis's mayoral campaign, fresh out of college. Started hosting different events, got to the point of LeBron was coming to town. Right when he decided that he was taking his talents to South Beach, I'm in my living room, I'm watching it. I had seen these cats the year before, Pure, Jerron, and the whole group.
Yeah, they had it on lock.
They had D
lock.
Wade at, I can't remember the venue. And so then I'm sitting there watching the decisions just like everybody else in the whole world. And LeBron is like, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. I said, oh, snap. LeBron is coming to Kansas City. LeBron is coming to Kansas City. And I had started this entertainment company where I was doing like different fundraisers for politicians and cancer benefits and mostly philanthropic stuff.
Yeah.
But I said, I got to have an event with LeBron. I start pacing the room. Who do I know? Next day, I'm on the phone with Rich Paul. Next day.
That's dope.
So at the time, I'm working as a group benefits underwriter for an insurance company. A group benefits underwriter.
You at the top?
No.
Down low?
I'm in the cubicle.
Okay.
And, I'm not a math dude, but it was what was readily available. It wasn't great money. One of my first jobs out of college. So I'm sitting in the cubicle and I'm building this entertainment, events, philanthropic business endeavor. And so I'm sitting in the cubicle trying to sell VIP tickets to a LeBron James event. And so that was my first big risk where I put all my money at something.
Yeah.
Did I make money? No, I did not.
You lost.
I lost. However, the question you asked me is, did it get irritating? That was the first time where I felt myself being tugged between my passion and my necessity.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting in this cubicle because this is what's got to pay my bills. Like, fact of the matter is, they are paying my bills. These events that I'm doing is great. It's building a name. It's building a brand. It might bring a little lump sum here and there, but it's not really paying my bills. But I'm passionate about being around people, connecting people, being in the community. And so that's the first time I felt it. I would sit in that cubicle and pray, like, God, I know it's something more than this cubicle. And nothing wrong with a cubicle for anybody that's in a cubicle, but I knew that it was something more for me to be doing than to be sitting in that cubicle. So that was the first time, but then that would continually occur. I got elevated. I went from group benefits underwriting to being a catastrophe adjuster.
Okay.
Long story on how I went from there to there, but I was on thin ice because of my second LeBron event. So I did an event.
Double up.
I did an event with LeBron in 2008. They locked out in 2009, I believe. And then in 2010, I did another one where I had D Wade, LeBron, Mario Chalmers, all at Voodoo. I had to do like this, I faked the leave of absence kind of thing, like I got to get this event done. I got too much money on the line.
Took a short term.
Yeah. And it wasn't all the way on the up and up. And so I told him whatever the thing about my auntie and so on and so forth. And I remember getting back that day, that Monday following the event. The event went fine, cool. And the manager walks me into the office and he puts a newspaper on the desk. He's like, man, Chris, we like you. We think you're a great kid. You know, everybody here likes you. You do good work, you know. However, you told us about your auntie and this and that, and you know, and here you are in the paper for this event.
Front page.
Not in the front page, but it's in the paper.
They knew.
They knew. And so he said, basically, if you sneeze, you out of here. And I'm like, oh Lord. Al, when I tell you, and God has always kind of interwoven himself in my journey.
Right.
And I know it's him because it's like, how?
Yeah.
On that day. That same day, I had already been interviewing for more money for different roles. Catastrophe adjusting is what I was interviewing for or like applying for. The same day, I got a job offer from Allstate saying, you got this job. We need you to start training at XYZ date in Chicago. So the same day they put me on thin ice, I gave them my 2 weeks notice.
I'm gone anyways. Good.
I'm gone anyways. So that was the first time where I was torn between passion and necessity, but that will continually happen up until I said, you know what? I got to jump out. I got to do this. And this became Ruby Jeans.
Okay. Now I think with that, man, that's fly. I mean, because I think everybody has those moments. I know for a fact I have them. I know I've talked to some other people. They're like, bro, I don't want to work for nobody for the rest of my life. What would you tell them? What would you tell a person that like maybe going through that or feeling like that? Do you tell them to jump? Do you tell them to get their ducks in a row? Don't make no stories about their auntie first. You would probably tell them that. But then what else would you tell them?
Man, it's interesting because so now, you know, I'm responsible for a team of 25 to 27 people, depending on the day, depending on the week.
Right.
And I'm now seeing that happen for people inside of what I'm building. And so it's tough because you always, first and foremost, you can't like ignore that urge. You can't ignore it. But as soon as you get the urge, you got to sort it out. Because it's not I got the urge. I need to go start this t-shirt company. I need to jump into this multimedia business. I need to do this thing. Okay, I got this urge. God is putting something on my heart. Let me sort it out.
Yeah.
What is that thing? What is it? What's the A to Z of it? Start researching it. Start really, really leading into it while you're still protecting your resources.
Facts.
I think the most important thing that I was able to do when I realized that making that 6-figure salary still wasn't it for me, I saved my bread. Once it flipped, before I'd be like, oh, you want a shot? You want a drink? All right, let's go. We're kicking it. I'm good. And then I was like, oh, I'm giving away my future.
Yeah.
And so I started saving my money. Like if I didn't need it, I didn't buy it. Mm-hmm. Like literally, like if I did not need it, I ain't buy it. I was driving a company van, insurance van. I didn't care where we was going. It's free. They paying for it. I'm driving it. I sold my car, so I cut back my expenses.
Okay.
And I made sure I could save as much money as possible. So I would say that's the first thing, no matter what. Even if you don't have the passion resolved, like you don't have the A to Z mapped out.
Right.
Save. Because no matter what it is, you're going to need some kind of a cushion when you do jump. Something. You're going to need some kind of a backstop when you do jump, unless you got, you know, somebody there that's looking out for you. So I would think that's the first thing. Research. I still got a folder. I still do this research. I had a folder like thick of menus and recipes and pictures of different juice bars all across the world. Mm-hmm. I did a ton of research. Stillness. I think that's the final thing. Well, it's two things. Stillness, because I didn't have the name Ruby Jeans like instantly when I had the idea. It was, I ain't gonna tell you the first name. It was bad, but it wasn't until I really got still and like really started to peruse my heart. Like, all right, Chris, man, well, why you want to do this? grandma.
Yeah,
Grandma.
that's facts.
Duh, grandma. And so I started to bruise my heart, and then the name came. But through stillness, I was able to get answers that I wasn't able to get by just moving and doing. I had to sit still and listen and meditate and pray and really like ponder my heart and like, man, what are you really after? The last thing I think is like, we live in a day and age where it's like we want stuff ASAP. Give it here.
Yeah.
Give it here. I need it today, yesterday. And it makes you move too fast. Like the pace of the world is like, I mean, unbelievably fast. This artificial intelligence, the information you can get and create, you can write books in a matter of seconds. Like, what? It got to be aligned to me. It's got to be aligned with something you're passionate about.
Okay, so the passion. Go back to passion all over again.
I mean, to me, it got to be because it's hard, bro. Like, people, you see one thing, but then it's this whole underbelly. For anybody that's out there building something, it's like this glamorous side that exists in these squares, and it's like, oh, I got this highlight, and here's a highlight. We won an Emmy. We got Supplier of the Year. We the #1 juice bar in the state. We this, we that. And then in between those highlights, it's like, oh, this person quit, that person quit.
Yeah.
We had to close the store for this year. We were slow for this amount of time. Ooh, it was tight to make payroll this time. Ooh, we couldn't even get strawberries for a whole month this time. Or, ooh, this or that. And so it's in the midst of these highlights, these little spikes on the graph, that little line is going the whole time. It ain't so shiny. And the only thing that's gonna get you through that not so shiny part, that not so, oh, I'm getting celebrated part, it gotta be passion. It gotta be something that you can't quit. Like,
right.
you asked me what motivates you. Like, I don't have an option to quit. I don't have, it's no other like, oh, man, shoot, Ruby Jeans don't work out, I'll probably go play golf for a living. I don't have that thing.
Yeah.
Ruby Jeans is it. That's all I pour my everything into.
Facts.
So yeah, long-winded way to say passion is the last one.
You good. Okay, so Essence Magazine? I'm trying. Listen, I'm talking about a person who grew up looking at the Jet for other reasons, but for the, I looked at the Jet as a kid, and you seen the magazines, and you would see people doing different things in it, and you're like, man, how you do that? Is that just more or less now the brand itself, and then, or is it just networking?
The power of what we have as Ruby Jeans, it can't be copied.
Yeah.
You can't copy it. Like, you can be inspired by it and start a juice bar, start a juice brand, but you cannot copy the essence of it. I got a good friend that works for Essence, and I got an opportunity to tell our story through Essence. And as we have many other platforms, Black Enterprise and CNN and all kind of different things. But Essence was one that just happened recently, and it is special because it's one of our platforms.
It's ours.
One of
That's
our
it's
celebrated platforms. And it just, anytime I get the opportunity to tell her story, talk about my grandmother, talk about what we are doing today, especially through a platform like that, bro, it's just, I never get too high or too low. But that Essence one, I was like,
that's a badge of honor, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, when I seen it, I seen that first, right? Then I turned around and I seen the commercial with the soccer, right? But I'm like, the soccer was cool. That's cool. Like, it's a hot thing because it's big, it's hot right now. But that Essence, bro, it just took it back to us, like making me feel like, oh, bro, it's possible. Because that's something that most people don't even think about. Like, I just go to work every day, do what they want to do, live their life, club, party, whatever, section here, section there, chill. But that one, that's the time capsule.
It is, and it's special because, again, Ruby Jeans exists to really, if I could pick this mirror up and just put it out like this.
The reflection.
Man, Ruby Jeans is a mirror. It's a very patient, very humble, very loving mirror. It's my grandma died at 61 because of soul food, but she not like some unicorn. somebody else's grandma, somebody else's uncle, somebody else's daddy, somebody else's mama. Like, if we just keep moving past like this food thing as if it's not real.
Yeah.
And we love our barbecue.
Yeah.
And I love this city. I would never knock barbecue.
Yeah.
But that's a treat. That's not a lifestyle.
That's dope.
You know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
dope.
And so to be able to tell that story through a black platform, that's what it's about, man. What separates us, what will always separate us, is why we do what we do and how we prove that why we do what we do is real. And so being able to tell that story to bigger audiences, to audiences that need to hear it, that need to be reminded that, oh, I got to think about what I'm drinking,
right,
what I'm eating
what
on a day-to-day basis, but from a way it's never been told, through the image of a black woman. And to be able to tell that story that represents my grandmother, my family, but so many other black families, and even Hispanic families, and even white families, but to be able to tell that story through our platform, like Essence, is special. It's special because then we can carry it further. And somebody, like, every time one of those things happen, whether it's National Geographic, whether it's Essence, it's people from all around the country that will send us a message and say, you know, this thing really connected with me because of X. Or every time I open my mouth to talk about this and tell the story, there's somebody that's going to come up. I did a smoothie making class at Operation Breakthrough last Thursday.
Okay.
And it was a young lady that left the room in tears because she connected with, man, like, that's my grandma.
Yeah.
And so me being able to share my grandmother's story, but also show other people their stories in bigger ways, man, it's special because we can't change the world, but we can.
We can put a dent in it.
Yeah.
We don't got to change it more so. We just got to make it better than what we got it.
Yep.
So that's really my biggest thing. Like, when I'm looking at the pie, when I'm looking at life, I always try to figure out, like, bro, how can I leave a room and somebody be like, man, hey, it was dope that he was in the room.
Yeah. But
more so than anything, he gave me some kind of motivation. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
24 hours in a day. But if you can add an extra hour, what would you do in that extra hour?
Man, so I was just thinking about this weekend, and probably the highlight of the weekend, Friday. My son, I'm a co-parent, and so I split time. And so when he's with me, you know this world.
I know how it go.
Bro, when he's with me, it ain't nothing else to talk about. And so we were playing. So I'm gonna tell you, it's to spend time with my wife and my son.
Yeah.
If I get an extra hour, that's who I'm with.
Facts.
But I'm gonna tell you, like, the essence of why. So Friday, we building Hot Wheels tracks. And the track, we started from my son's room upstairs, and we came out into the hallway in between the bedrooms, and we had to kind of create this almost 90-degree turn, and it then goes downstairs, and then we looped into the living room.
So you trying to make a TikTok video of the world's longest? Okay, I see.
So we couldn't, and I had camera set up and everything, and we couldn't get past that first turn. There's a message in here. Ride with me, Al.
Come on, walk with you.
We couldn't get past that first turn. And I'm like, we probably did this, 20, 25 times trying to get past this first turn.
Right.
I got a trash can set up trying to hold it. I got our blanket basket at the bottom trying to prop it up so it ain't got too much of a slope. You know, I'm holding it. My wife is now launching, and my son is at the bottom of the stairs. I got a camera up here, a camera on the wall, so we try and get the angles. And I got to that last time, and I'm like, man, son.
I'm getting tired.
I'm like, bro, you want to watch a movie or you want to keep doing this? My son is 4.
Mine too.
Verbatim. He said, well, I want to do it again. I want to keep doing this because don't fail.
Yeah.
Don't fail. No quitters. You're Chris Goode, and Chris Goode doesn't quit. Verbatim. I'll show you the video as soon as we got off the phone. And bro, I can't even tell you. So we did it again. What you think happened?
It came across the corner.
Oh man, it came around the corner. And so I would pick my son and my wife to spend that time with. They teach me so much in different ways. My wife, more sensitivity, more patience, more calm, more ease. My son, in many ways, much of the same. Slow down, pops.
Yeah.
Slow down. And he turned. It's like we switched positions in that moment. Like, hold on, I'm the daddy here. And I said, you said don't fail. And I said, all right, man, I hear you. I hear you. And so I would pick him because he's my biggest teacher, man.
Yeah.
He's my biggest teacher.
I think with kids, man, it's so because they don't have a quit until we put it in their brain.
Yep.
If we tell them they can't do something, then they believe it.
Yeah.
But if we always kind of like, okay, come on,
They'll be falling asleep trying to do something.
and gonna wake up and do it again
Yeah.
and keep going.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing. But they teach you also to live in the moment.
Absolutely.
Because you like, man, that's something else I could be doing, with something else we could be doing. But you're like, nah, let's get in this moment.
Man, it took that 26th time for it to happen, man. So it was just a powerful moment. But yeah, I would pick them.
That's what's up. So if you could talk to the younger Chris,
Yep.
I'm talking about maybe, let me pick a good number. Maybe high school Chris.
High school, Chris.
High school Chris, maybe junior year, going into his senior year. He done scored a couple touchdowns. He got a little name for himself.
No touchdowns.
No
That was
touchdowns?
Ryan. That was Ryan.
Ryan swear he was the man. He do swear. Couple sacks, couple tackles.
Couple sacks, a bunch of tackles.
Okay.
Blocks.
It was Ruskin, so y'all
for
was
Ryan.
just, yeah.
No, it wasn't a full. Where'd you go?
I went to Sligo.
Oh,
I'm from Kansas.
all right.
Wyandotte County.
I don't even know what that means.
It means a lot.
Oh, okay,
It
my
means a
bad.
lot.
No, I was just-
we had some good ones come out of there. We had some good ones come out
I
of there.
got a lot of good people from the.
I came out
the
in
Kansas side.
2003, so
Oh, okay.
we had a good year, and we got a chance to see some people come through and do some good things. But Rusty, it's okay. We'll stay out south with y'all, let y'all hang out. We'll do it with y'all. So, what would you tell him, man? He getting ready to be a senior. It's summertime.
What would I tell? That's a great question, Al. What would I tell the junior year of high school, Chris? Keep believing in yourself.
Okay.
Don't have no connection to anybody's opinion, external. Pray more, believe deeper. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Build your habits. Build your habits. Stay in your toolbox. Stay in your toolbox. Stay in your toolbox. Stay focused. Future is bright.
I like that. Okay. So when you think about your dreams and your legacy, we're in a good place. I promise. When you think about your dream and your legacy, what's some of your dreams you got left that you can share?
Man, I want to continue to change the landscape of Kansas City.
What's that look like?
You know, I've been able to. I sat on the Parks and Rec board for
Okay.
a couple of years, and I got to be responsible for renaming J.C. Nichols Parkway.
Okay.
The fountain on the plaza used to be called J.C. Nichols Fountain. It's now nameless because of the efforts. I got to be able to really drive home and honoring for Dr. King during my time on the board, where obviously the big debacle happened. I'm currently working to revitalize the Purcell Stairs, building a health and wellness park free to the community. Been quiet about it, but still actively working towards it. I'm currently working to rename Truth Avenue to Truth Avenue.
Truth Avenue.
Yeah, you know nothing about this.
No, I didn't. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna hold you to Truth Avenue.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fire.
Yeah.
But why?
Why Truth over Truth?
Yeah.
Dr. Benoit Truce, he was a well-known slave owner.
Yeah.
He owned 6 people. He built the first hotel in Kansas City. He was the first resident physician of Kansas City. We, many years ago as a city, honored him with this almost 11-mile stretch known today as Truth Avenue. Truth Avenue has always been the red line, the barrier of Kansas City, a place that I knew as home as a kid, early on in my life, before we moved out south. I had no connection to it at that point in my life. You know, I was just a kid, but I also recognized my family didn't either. When I renamed J.C. Nichols, a lot of people was like, well, what about Truth? Let's name it, let's rename Truth Avenue, Truth Avenue. And I started digging in it, and at that time, we were tenants of our real estate at 30th and Truth. And so I rested on it. I started researching a little bit. I'm like, we honored him with this stretch, and we still use it as a way to divide us. I tell people, like, what do you do? I own juice bars.
Yeah.
They were like, where are they at? Well, 30th and Truth. Ooh, Ooh,
I don't want to go down there.
yeah. Well, we got one in Whole Foods. Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that one, you know. And so, you know, I still see this fear around it. But as a tenant, I'm picking up trash day in and day out, day in and day out. I'm collaborating with different organizations along the stretch, week in and week out. And I'm not seeing this like divided, scary. I'm not seeing any of that. And at a point, I'm like, wait a minute. We done allowed this man to be honored well into his afterlife.
Yeah.
Well knowing that he owned people
Facts.
that look like you and I.
Look like us.
And still allow the narrative to be a narrative that's divisive, that really is like it's almost like this wall of Kansas City, and people that haven't spent much time over there fear it.
Yeah.
You know, you coming from Wyandotte County, I don't know what the perception is of this side.
This was a whole new world when I came. When I went to Missouri, it was a whole new world, but it still had that on it.
But that connotation of truce is like, you know, that's kind of
Yeah.
dicey over there. And so here we are in 2023, and you got beautiful black-owned businesses. You got beautiful organizations up and down the street. I mean, super diverse. And here we are, we still honoring this dude.
Yeah.
That was cool with rape, murder, the sale and purchase of black bodies, and we're honoring him today. And so one day I'm picking up trash and I got disgusted. I'm like, man, I'm sitting here picking up trash. I'm walking my son along this street, and this dude, that we honoring this dude. I'm under this moniker of this dude that was disgusting, and we just cool with it. And it wasn't until, so we purchased the building in Black History Month of 2022.
That's dope.
And I said, okay, it's time. And so pretty soon after that, I sent out this big letter to the mayor, city council, city manager, all the different stakeholders along Troost Avenue. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. Started a petition, have held stakeholder engagement meetings. But the whole point of it is, truth is something that's divisive. Truth, man, I can get behind that.
I like that.
That's something
I like that.
it don't matter what you look like.
Yeah.
Like, truth is truth.
Truth is true.
Truth is truth. So let's tell the truth about what this was, who he was, and why we moving away from that. Because as a city, we can't like be so hype about all this stuff that's going on, this big
Right.
stuff like, oh, this is crazy, that's crazy, this is crazy, oh, that's crazy. But then we not cleaning up our laundry. We not
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
No, that's
and
real.
so it's been an effort that you know, Councilwoman Melissa Robinson has really walked step for step with me on. Ex-deputy director of the Parks and Rec Board, Roosevelt Lyons has walked step for step for me on, and a lot of people have gotten behind, and it's just this slow march to change. But I want to continue that work, and not just through renaming streets. Yes, renaming streets, but cleaning up assets. We just adopted the first ever bus stop in the history of KCATA. We'll
Okay.
do a ribbon cutting on it April 22nd, right there at 31st and Truce. It's a bus stop that my family used when I was a kid. You know, we jumped over to the bus stop, and my grandmother went to work at Superior Linen. We went to daycare and St. Vincent's. And so just quietly, earnestly, genuinely, consistently, tirelessly changing the landscape without like fanfare.
Right.
Just like, no, we shouldn't just get used to it being trash over there.
Right.
We you know, if you drive down Truce, and it's a lot of people that do, you know, they handle their own, but man, it's a lot of trash.
Yeah.
If you go to the Dollar General, and I'll call them out. If you go to the Dollar General or Family Dollar, I think it is.
Yeah. Dollar General.
The black and yellow one.
Yeah, Dollar General.
Yeah. So you go to Dollar General, I got a video of it. Trash everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like, copious amounts of trash. And so our people walking in and out subconsciously ignoring, like they don't
They're
even,
used to it.
They
They're
don't
used to
see
it.
the trash.
Yeah.
Like, so we've become accustomed to there being trash. So I live down in the Northeast. I don't play that on my block. It's trash everywhere. I'm out there picking it up. I got my son with me. Hey, we picking up trash today. He's like, oh, Dad. Yeah, we picking up trash. And it seems like such a menial, meaningless task, but everybody's ignoring it. And so I want to continue to do work like that. We got juice into the schools last year. And
I see y'all went over to Harmon.
we were just at Harmon.
seen that.
You know, going into places where, man, I went to Harmon, and no shade to Harmon, man, the kids are getting like these 16-ounce cups with these slushies in the cafeteria. And the slushies, bro, it ain't nothing but sugar.
Yeah.
And so our kids are eating these processed foods, these fried foods, literally allowed to drink 16 ounces of straight up processed sugar
Every day.
every day. And then they're expected to, hey, go perform well on that standardized test. Go get some rest. Go and come out of high school and you've been eating trash your whole life if you got to eat, and be a productive and happy citizen. But we've been pumping you full of this garbage for all these years. And so I want to speak to stuff like that. I sit on the board of Menorah Medical Center, and I'm sitting there because I don't think that we have a good relationship with the healthcare system as black people. I think that it's crazy that hospitals are still frying foods. I think it's crazy that hospitals are still selling pop. This is a hospital.
It's supposed to help people.
This is a hospital. It's people down the hall dying from that. And you in here selling that? You're selling it. So you in here helping me, but you're killing me too. And so I want to be remembered as a person that no matter what anybody think, I honestly could care less. When that final bell rang, they say, oh, okay, he was really about that. He was really about that.
I like that.
And so that's what I want to leave here doing. I want to leave here with my son carrying a sense of himself that he knows he's small in the grand scheme of things. Bro, I'm just a servant.
That's it.
I'm just a servant. I'm a vessel to do good work.
Right.
To cross people's path and hopefully redirect it. For somebody to hear this opportunity, and I'm honored to sit here and share space with you, man.
I appreciate it.
Like it's a blessing because it's a lot of people like, yeah, whatever. But there's gonna be one person that's gonna be like, oh, I'm sitting here holding this fried chicken leg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I want them to look at it and really say, oh, I need to think about it. This is a treat. This ain't no lifestyle. So,
No doubt. So I got one more. I asked everybody this one.
all right.
This might get you in trouble, but it might not.
Okay.
In the sense of emergency, first person you call.
In a sensitive emergency?
In the sense of emergency, something was to happen right now, first person you call. It's no right or wrong answer. I got you. I promise I got you, though. Who you call? I promise I got you.
What time of day is it?
Right now.
Oh, right now?
Right now. We can say right now.
I'm gonna call my wife.
Okay, your wife with you.
She with me?
She with you.
I'm
Hold on. Phone don't work.
Ah, snap.
Ain't no number saved.
Yeah.
Who's next?
My mama.
Mom Dukes?
Yeah.
You, Mom Dukes, and the missus are out together and something happens. Who you call?
Oh, man.
You want to know why I asked?
Yeah.
Code. So in the sense of emergency, they teach you this when you get your job. Who's your emergency contact?
Yeah.
Point of contact, something happened. It's always been easy, whoever your mate was or whoever your best friend was or Mom Dukes, sisters, brothers, whatever. A lot of times we don't have people that in our phones that don't occupy free space. So you'll have somebody in your phone where you should be able to call anybody in your phone at any given time for anything.
And they moving.
It don't matter what it is. I want to open another juicery, but I want it to be in Connecticut.
Yeah.
It should be somebody to be able to say, okay, I got you, because of your name alone, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times when you look in your phone, you're like, I can call this person for this, but I can't call them for that. I can call them and get the what's going on in the city, where to go at. But I challenge everybody to have 5 to 6 people that you can call for anything.
My cousin George.
Cousin George.
My cousin George.
That's dope.
Yep. And I got a lot of people. That's one thing I will say, man, is I'm not a wealthy dude.
Yeah.
You know, money don't really move me. I feel like if my heart is postured appropriately and I string together enough 4 a.m.s, enough prayers, enough steps, enough real movement, that's gonna be the least of my concern.
Facts.
And so money does not move me in that way. But my relationships.
That's it. That's everything.
I'm rich, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
You
Al,
sound like a Bob Marley when they asked him.
I'm wealthy, dog.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Ryan and Shannon, and I could keep going. My boy Steve, but my cousin George, man, it's been some times where
Yeah.
I'm like, cuz you don't understand. I have to move out today. Man, 30 minutes, George coming around the corner in the pickup, like, where we at?
Yeah.
I got my gloves on already. Like, hey, you got some more gloves? Yeah, I got gloves for you too.
That's
Like, let's
what's
go.
up.
And I'm talking like at some of the lowest points of my life. He's been there. And so I got a lot of people like that really have held me down. I couldn't even name them all, man. So
dope.
a lot of times now I'm like, how do I, because time starts to become very tight. And so I can't even say that I'm the greatest recipient of all that love, because my time won't even allow me to show the appreciation that I need to through my presence. You know what I mean?
Right.
At this point.
That's dope. So I tell everybody, man, anytime y'all come and sit down with me, man, it's always a pleasure. I want your stories to always be able to be something that's stamped. Example, this past week, I went to a funeral. One of my guys, he came on the show, did a podcast with me. T, good dude. Every room he went in, it was always love, right? That's my goal. Every room I go in, I want it to always be love. I want to always inspire somebody with some words, with some kind of advice, with some kind of understanding. I can't fix everything, but I'll be there to listen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm always be there to support people. So I tell my people every time, never goodbye. I always see you later. May God be your direction and we be your seatbelt in this thing called life. Till we see each other again, man, be cool, be safe.
Thank you, bro. Much love.